welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a foundation review, and I haven't done one of these in forever. Now we all know how much I love makeup, that's no secret, but foundations and concealers and base products have a special place in my heart. Anytime a new foundation comes out, I get really excited, and although I may not mention it on my social media or here on my YouTube channel, but I try out a lot of foundations. Anytime a new one comes out, I'm most likely going to be trying it out, whether the brand sends it to me or I go out and pick it up myself if I can't wait. I do have a lot of foundations that are my go-to, that are my favorites, but you can never have too many favorite foundations. I feel like there's a foundation that you love for every occasion. There's your I'm running out to Target foundation, I'm going to work foundation, I have a special date night foundation, I'm taking a lot of flash photography foundation. So although I have way too many foundations for one person to have, I always want to try out more and more, especially with the technology that foundations are coming out with these days. So the foundation that we're playing with today is the new Benefit Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation. This is not a first impression by any means. I haven't done a first impression foundation review in a long time because I realized that foundations takes more than just one 10-hour wear to really review it. I need to know if it's going to last all day, if it's going to last in different conditions, if it's going to break me out, which is the most important factor in a foundation for me. So we're going to be talking about all of that. I've been wearing this for about maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So just as important as the product itself, the packaging. Packaging always gets me, and this is probably why I even bought this to try out in the first place. Packaging is, I mean, a no-brainer. It is so cute and girly. The little smiley face gets me super happy in the morning when I reach for it. And it is a plastic container. It's great for traveling. You're not going to risk breaking anything in your bag and getting messy and all over your clothes or other makeup products. There is a nozzle and you kind of dump it out on your hand. This type of foundation always gets super messy. I remember when I had the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua foundation, it was the same type of packaging, the same nozzle, very liquidy type of formula. Every time you would just unscrew the cap, it would start like oozing out like a volcano. It gets super messy, so I wouldn't hold it like this when you uncap it. I would hold it from the side so you are doing the least squeezing. It's just so frustrating how messy it can be, but otherwise I think the packaging is super cute. Is it worth the mess? Probably not. So before I review the foundation, I'm going to cut to the part where I apply it to my skin. So you're going to see what it looks like, what the consistency is like, how I like to apply it, and all that good stuff. So I apologize in advance, but here is my bare face. So with this foundation, you have to give it a really good shake. It instructs you to do so on the inside of the box. And I picked up shade 4 and shade 6. So this is super watery. I'll demonstrate for you. See how it comes out in like drops form, and it'll just start running down your arm. So it is a very liquidy, watery foundation. I'll show you guys the differences between the two shades. This is number 6 and this is number 4. Obviously this one is a lot darker and a lot warmer, so we're going to try to mix these two and see what we come up with. So I'm just going to take my IT Cosmetic brush and start mixing the two shades together. Oh, I think I did a pretty good job actually. I'm just going to put this on half of my face so we can see what it looks like compared to the other side. And remember that this claims to be a light to medium coverage foundation. And with this, because it is such a thin consistency, I like to just go in with a brush. I feel like a makeup sponge is going to be too absorbent and you're not going to get any coverage. So with a brush, it goes on super smooth. You don't have to really tug at your skin. It is a very thin consistency, so it's super comfortable. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here and show you what it looks like with just one thin layer on. So this is the side with foundation, and it just looks really smooth. It's not super covered. And you still see a lot of my hyperpigmentation, but my skin just looks even, it looks soft, it looks, I don't know, it just looks really healthy, you know. And this is the side without foundation. You can see a lot of my red marks. The redness around my nose is more apparent. So if I look at you kind of straight on, you can kind of see the differences, but my skin still looks like skin. And honestly, I can't tell a difference between the two sides. It's so incredibly lightweight that it feels like I have nothing on it at all. This is the perfect everyday foundation. I've been wearing this for work. So this is my entire face with a light layer of this foundation on, and I love it. I love the look of this foundation, and I think it did a really good Alrighty, so I am back with my full face on, so let's continue with this foundation. I'm on the Sephora website, so I'm just going to read some of the claims of this foundation. So it claims to be light to medium coverage, which I would definitely agree with. You guys saw how it covered up some imperfections, some redness, but not high coverage whatsoever. So if you have a lot of acne prone skin or a lot of skin issues, this may not be the foundation for you. It just does not cover enough if you have those skin concerns. It claims to be good for sensitive, normal, dry, combo, and oily skin. I am very oily in the summer, and especially in my T-zone when it's super hot outside these days. I don't find that this foundation breaks up on my skin. I'm actually very impressed at how long wearing it is. I will wear this at like 6:30 in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, and I don't come home from work until maybe 5:30, and I can still see my makeup lasting on my skin. Obviously, it's not as flawless and as even as it is during the beginning of the application, but I still see a lot of my blush, bronzer, and even my highlight sometime if I'm not like touching my face too much throughout the day. So it does last a while on my skin, and I have pretty oily skin in the summer. I mean, we've all had science classes, you know, oil and water does not mix well together. So if you have really, really oily skin, I would definitely suggest getting a little tester sample so that you can wear it for a little bit and see how it reacts on your skin. It claims to have a natural finish, and I would completely agree with that claim as well. You saw what it looks like on my skin with just one layer. It's very healthy looking. It is very natural looking. It's not too dewy where you feel like you might have to set the foundation because it's a bit tacky and a little bit wet looking, and it's not so matte that you just look one-dimensional. It looks like my natural skin when I move my face. You can see a little bit of a glow, but it's not like, damn, her face is glowy. So I do really love the finish of this foundation. It does have SPF 15, which is always a plus in a foundation. It is not a strong enough SPF that is going to give you a flashback in flash photography. I don't have that issue with this foundation, and I don't really notice it when I take pictures. My only con to it is that there's only 17 shades, and although 17 sounds like an adequate, substantial amount, it's really not. It does not cater to deep, dark skin tones. I feel like it ranges from very, very light, a few medium tones, and then like a few darker tones. I feel like even for myself, I have a very easy skin tone to match to any foundations, which is very lucky for me, and I'm thankful for that. But even with my skin tone, I have a lot of olive golden undertones to it, and the two shades I picked up did not match me. I had to kind of mix them. This is shade number 4, which is a little bit pink for my skin tone and a little bit light right now. And then the number 6 is very, very warm, if you can compare that to my chest. It's super, super warm and a little bit too dark. But then the number 5 just is a lot pinker than either of these, so that wasn't going to work for me. I don't have cool undertones. So I had to mix these two to get my perfect shade, which actually worked out well today. It actually matches exactly to my body. So I should have written down that little concoction. These retail for $29 each, which isn't bad for a high-end foundation. Benefit is, you know, not drugstore by any means, and you do get 1 fluid ounce, which is very standard for any foundation. So for $29, I think that's a pretty good, reasonable price for an everyday foundation. This is great to wear to work if you just want your skin to look smooth and evened out, but you don't want to look like you just put on a crap load of foundation at 6 in the morning trying to get ready for work. This would be a really great beach foundation too if you're going to the beach or a pool party where you want your skin to look nice but not overly made up. A thin layer of this is going to do the trick. You're going to look even out and soft and blurred. So if you've been looking for an everyday foundation with light to medium coverage, or if you are a teenager or just someone who is stepping into the makeup world for the first time and don't really know what to wear foundation wise, this is a really nice one. It's super soft, it's very thin in consistency, so you can't like cake on too much of it because you're gonna be applying thin layers no matter how much you put on. That's just how thin it is. And because of its natural finish, it's not intimidating by any means. You won't have to worry about whether you're looking too flat, too shiny, too dewy, too glowy, and all the in-betweens. It's just a really nice foundation, whether you just want a foundation for everyday wear or if you're trying out foundations for the first time. For me, for myself, I really like this foundation. If I can just find one shade that matches me, that would be great because I don't want to have to keep repurchasing 2 shades to make my own perfect shade. But other than that, it's a good foundation and I really like it. So that is it for this review, guys. I hope you found it helpful. If you have questions about this foundation, let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.